I was born in the summer of love on the outskirts of suburbia to newlywed, newly qualified teachers who had books and music to stir my imagination in a house on the slopes outside the city. Unremarkable except for its psychedelic wallpaper, carpets and curtains, the three-bed semi-detached on Portsdown Hill looked over a map of street lights, the fairy-lit seafront and boy winking harbour. From Rectory Avenue I could see it all happening downtown, or Dinteen as the local dialect had it, and made frequent trips to the city for dance classes and drama clubs, shopping and shows. But where I really spent my childhood was in stories, in my head, from the bedside bookshelves, on the 3-channel TV. Walking the backwater avenues of Farlington on the way home from school was when I had my mental adventures. Serials and sequels, long-running sagas. I always found it easy and enjoyable to write, though left-handed, and seemed effortlessly to win silver stars for stories penned in junior school. Running, skipping, walking home, my first plots played out along those neat curbstones, the fancy brickwork of garden walls, the ambitious or abandoned flower beds. I developed skills useful for future novel writing then, including the management of boredom by endless playing about, diversion by shiny detail, the security of repetition, the crossing, the corner, that ability to see the same thing over and over again in a new way every day, and the satisfaction of arrival, the happy ending, though I sometimes preferred to be still walking on the heroine's journey I took along the same quiet streets for a decade. Now in Southsea, I feel strongly that I'm walking along a literary ley line, down King's Road and Elm Grove to Campbell Road, all pinned as the 19th century residences of Rudyard Kipling, Arthur Conan Doyle, Charles Dickens, H.G. Wells. They fictionalised its uneventful setting before the bombs of World War II knocked most of the teeth out of its genteel face, and renamed it Rocklington or Lymport in their stories. Their days treading the streets where the time machine was invented and Sherlock Holmes was born are not, in the end, key scenes or even mentions in their biographies. But at least they didn't try to hide their background like Portsea-born author George Meredith, who stated in a census that he came from near Petersfield. Though I'm sure the fresh and salty air of Portsmouth is inspiring, and the momentum of its ever-changing cast of characters passing to and fro on the tide is important, it's not unique. There's nothing here that you couldn't get along the coast, inland or overseas, but for me, the city's influence has somehow rubbed off on the soles of my feet through repeated pounding of its peaceful pavements in the footsteps of its previous writers.